All right. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. But before I get started with this demonstration, if I could get you to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. I want to salute everybody that's catching this on the replay. I want to salute everybody that's watching from the clouds. I want to salute all my moderators. I want to salute you, him and her. I want to salute the whole rock squad. Before I get started with this demonstration, I want to read my disclaimer, and then y'all know how we do over here. We're going to jump straight into this demonstration. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. That means that everything that you hear in this demonstration, everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is only for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's all allegedly. Nothing that you hear in this demonstration is facts. It's all allegedly. Now, one of Danity Kane's members, Aubrey O'Day, has came out and she's mentioned some things that took place when she was on Bad Boy. Also, she mentioned how P. Diddy is trying to silence her or tried to silence her. Also, we're going to be chopping it up about one of P. Diddy's baby mothers, and that is Misa Hilton. I like to get started early. I don't like to spend a lot of time like with intros and all of that, but I do know people will wait till the last minute to pull up. They might pull up 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, and I done pretty much already covered the demonstration because I like to get started early. So I'm going to get started early, and I'll just have to do what I do always. I'll just have to recap. But let's just get started with Misa. Let's get started with Misa. Salute Fresh Perspective. Salute 80s Baby. Salute. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Once again, this is all allegedly. Everything that you hear in this is for entertainment and educational purpose only. So let's start with Misa. Let's start with the baby mother of P. Diddy. Let's start with Misa.
Amid the furor, Hilton pulls no punches as she squarely blames Diddy for the traumatic ordeal her sons endured. She accuses the hip-hop icon of being complicit in their suffering, vowing to hold him accountable for his role in the debacle. Let's delve deeper into the tangled web of accusations surrounding Diddy and his son, Justin Combs. It all started with a lawsuit from Diddy's former producer, Lil Rod, who dropped bombshell accusations against Diddy, Justin, and others. Among a slew of shocking claims, Rod alleged that Justin and cohorts were involved in recruiting sex workers and underage women for parties hosted by Diddy.
Says that he had his son bring girls over to the parties, usually underage girls.
It's a scandalous accusation that rocked the entertainment world to its core. Justin Combs' representative swiftly fired back, vehemently denying all allegations as absurd lies. But the drama didn't end there. The lawsuit also implicated Diddy in unwanted sexual advances and coercion, painting a damning portrait of the hip-hop mogul's alleged misconduct. Moreover, another lawsuit alleged that Diddy and his son were embroiled in a shooting incident at a recording studio, further tarnishing their reputations. While Diddy's attorney vehemently refuted these claims as baseless, the specter of scandal continues to haunt the Combs family.
So there's that part. And then when you're talking about Diddy, you have all the other stuff that we've been hearing for years plus.
But where does Misa Hilton fit into this unfolding saga of accusations and legal battles? Her social media rant following Justin's arrest suggests a simmering resentment towards Diddy, hinting at deeper familial tensions bubbling beneath the surface. In her cryptic posts, she alludes to a fractured relationship with Diddy, expressing regret over past decisions and casting his characters on his character.
His mom was like always...
This is the reason why I've canceled my doorbell camera subscription.
So naturally,
brand new subscription.
naturally, as y'all can see, you know, she's definitely coming out, you know, with, you know, in regards to her son. I mean, that's what most moms would do, especially when they know that the child's father ain't hitting on nothing. That mom is definitely going to come out and speak on the behalf of a child. So she's just basically saying that, you know, he put, P. Diddy put her son. She's basically, you know, saying that P. Diddy is the one that's, you know, got my son. If my son is involved, P. Diddy is definitely the mastermind, but she don't think that her son is involved. So let's go back to some more of Misa.
And like always. And it's good in a lot of ways, but then, you know, it's always a price to pay. I don't care what you do.
With emotions running high and tempers flaring, Hilton's words paint a picture of a mother's anguish and frustration, grappling with the fallout of her son's legal troubles. But what lies beneath the surface of this public spectacle? Is there more to the story than meets the eye? To understand the depth of Misa Hilton's tumultuous relationship with Diddy, one must delve into their turbulent past, a tale of love, betrayal, and enduring animosity.
You know, we were very young. Our lives changed just like that, really quickly.
Once romantically entwined, Hilton and Diddy's relationship was marred by allegations of abuse and mistreatment. Insiders whispered tales of a volatile union, where Diddy's temper flared and fists flew, leaving Hilton battered and bruised, both physically and emotionally.
Well, hey, tell us that story. I mean, if you want to.
But that didn't make the book.
They didn't make the book, yeah.
Yeah, she was dealing with that dude
Despite the facade of glitz and glamour, their relationship was fraught with tension. With Hilton bearing the brunt of Diddy's wrath, many speculate that beneath the veneer of success lay a toxic dynamic where power and control eclipsed love and respect. Hilton's social media tirades against Diddy serve as a window into a world of simmering resentment and unresolved grievances, a testament to the scars that linger long after the wounds have healed. But it's not just past wounds that fuel Hilton's ire. It's also her unwavering conviction that Diddy is a detrimental influence on their sons. From Justin's recent Dewey arrest to past incidents of violence and controversy, Hilton sees Diddy's shadow looming large over their children's lives.
Misa claims she's not protecting Diddy anymore. She didn't go into detail on what she meant, but she vowed to protect all of Diddy's children from his karma.
In her scathing rebukes, she lays bare her fears and frustrations, lamenting the toll that Diddy's lifestyle has taken on their family. Her reaction to Justin's arrest for drunk driving is a poignant reminder of the pain and disappointment that she has endured. In a series of since deleted Instagram posts, Hilton unleashed a barrage of criticism aimed squarely at Diddy, his business ventures, and even her son's alma mater. With each...
But here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. And I'm going to call a spade a spade. Even if P. Diddy allegedly is guilty of the things that he's accused of, why were these people, Misa, Gene Deal, the other people that was around P. Diddy, why did they allow it? Not so much of why did they allow it, why did they stay in the company of P. Diddy? This what makes me feel like everybody is out for a money bag. Everybody is out for a money bag. Now that the house is crumbling, everybody wants to come forward to see what they can get. Drop a 1 if y'all feel that way.
Each word, she peels back the layers of resentment, exposing the raw nerve of a mother's heartache. I'm not protecting anyone anymore, just my son and all the children. I love a come to Jesus' moment.
See, stop right there. She's saying after the arrest, Misa Hilton took jabs at her ex-boyfriend Diddy. I'm not protecting no one anymore. Y'all see it right there. Right there. It's on the screen. She says, I'm not protecting no one anymore. Just my son. I want us to really, really chop that up. I don't want us to go no further without analyzing exactly what this says. The fashion designer wrote on her Instagram story, according to multiple outlets, which took screenshots of the now deleted posts. And all the children I love a come to Jesus moment. Look at what she says though. I'm not protecting no one anymore. Just my son. What do y'all make out of that? Let me come to the chat. Let me come to the chat. Let me come to the chat. Talk to me. Y'all have to talk to me about that. See, once again, accountability. When everything was on the up and up and everything was going smooth, nobody had anything to say about P. Diddy. And if they had anything to say about P. Diddy, it was hush hush. And I know what y'all gonna say. I know what some of y'all gonna say. But Shank, they was scared. P. Diddy, you know, he had money. P. Diddy, he had power. I get all of that. I get all of that. But when do you stand up for what's right? And I'm just going to be honest. The same way that I feel in the R. Kelly situation, the same way that I feel in the R. Kelly case, if P. Diddy goes down for any of these accusations, if he goes down, if he does any prison time, I don't think that he should be the only one. Because there were a bunch of yes men. There were a bunch of yes women. So I don't think that he should go down alone. I'll say it again. We read what she said. I'm not protecting no one anymore. See, that's what happens. And I tell y'all all the time, stop protecting your kids when your kids is wrong. Stop protecting your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Stop protecting your family members. Stop protecting your associates. Stop protecting these people when you know they are wrong. Even if they are wrong towards somebody that you don't like, it is what it is. You know, look, I don't like old girl right there. I don't like old boy right there, but you was wrong what you did to old girl. You was wrong what you did to old boy. This is why we have monsters. Y'all do know that, right? This is why we have monsters allegedly like P. Diddy and the rest of these monsters walking around, because there are always people. There are always people that is willing to protect these monsters. Let's listen to some more. I see you, 80s baby. 80s baby said when she was receiving the benefits with no problems, it was fine to support. But now the stuff has hit the fan. They're making sure they're not going down with him. And that's facts, 80 baby. That's facts. You couldn't have said it no better.
She declares, her words dripping with defiance and determination. Her scathing critique of Diddy's reality TV ventures and musical endeavors underscores her disdain for what she perceives as a downward spiral into mediocrity. With a mix of scorn and sadness, she reflects on the man she once knew and the legacy he now tarnishes. But amidst the chaos and controversy, Hilton remains steadfast in her resolve to shield her son from the storm brewing around him. With a mother's love as her guiding light, she navigates the treacherous waters of fame and fortune, determined to protect her child from the pitfalls that ensnare so many. As Justin languishes in the aftermath of his arrest, Hilton's words serve as a rallying cry for accountability and introspection. In her quest for justice, she refuses to back down, confronting the demons of her past and the specter of her son's future with unwavering courage.
Yeah, it's too late to come forward now. I bet you do want to come forward. I bet you don't want to back down. Yeah, because you know and everybody else know things is going to benefit you, and you do not want to get caught in the crossfire. You, just as well as some others, don't want to get caught in the crossfire. London Bridge is falling down, and look around, y'all. Misa Hilton, now she wants to come forward because protect nobody but her son. Well, exactly are you protecting your son from? There's more.
Currently, there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
But as the dust settles and the echoes of her social media outburst fade into the ether, one question lingers in the air. Will Diddy heed her warnings and mend the fractured bonds of their family? Or is this the beginning of the end for a dynasty built on fame, fortune, and the ghosts of a troubled past? As the saga surrounding Diddy's empire unfolds, the walls seem to be closing in on the hip-hop mogul. What started as a torrent of accusations and legal battles has now escalated into a full-blown crisis, with Diddy at the center of a storm of controversy and scandal. With each passing day, the mounting evidence against him threatens to unravel the carefully constructed facade of success and invincibility that he has maintained for decades.
It really did open the floodgates, as you said, because it detailed almost 2 decades of hidden coercion.
But perhaps the most damning revelation to emerge from the wreckage of Diddy's empire is the possibility of criminal charges under the RICO Act. Short for the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO is a...
Y'all talk to me on this one, y'all. I want y'all, let's rap a little bit. How are y'all feeling? Do y'all smell a rat when it comes to this Misa situation? Let me know. Before I go any further, drop a 1 if y'all smell a rat. Drop a 1 if y'all smell a rat. Drop a 1 if y'all are smelling a rat when it comes to Misa Hilton, the mother of P. Diddy's son. I smell a rat. I smell a rat. You didn't come forward in the beginning. See, you wasn't worrying about coming forward in the beginning. So now, all of a sudden, because you know, and like you said, you're not protecting no one anymore but your son. 80s Baby says, I smell a team of rats. Yes, yes, yes. Because as I said before, P. Diddy has been moving foul for many, many, many years. Many, many years. And a lot of them, Gene Deal, I still question Gene Deal. I still have to question his motives. It got to be more to it than just, well, I seen, I felt bad about Biggie's death. I felt bad because P. Diddy is putting on the front. He's coming forward and he's saying all of this, and lying, trying to have people convinced that he's been doing good by these people. It's more to it. I see you, my boo. Salute, my boo. Positive Vibe says Shank done got comfortable up there. let's Positive Vibes wouldn't be Positive Vibes. I ain't paying you no attention today, Positive Vibes. Let's go back to more from Misa, y'all, and P. Diddy.
Diddy could be facing serious prison time under the statute. Insiders familiar with the investigation have hinted at the possibility of Diddy being charged under RICO, citing his alleged involvement in a wide range of criminal activities, including sex trafficking, substance trafficking, and financial fraud. If true, these charges could not only spell the end of Diddy's career, but also land him.
Now stop right there. Salute, Mel. Salute, Mel. Stop right there. Yes, you had the question Gene did. Now, with the sex trafficking and all this stuff been going on. These things been going on. I got the question Gene Deal. I got the question Gene Deal. I got the question Misa. I have to.
Him behind bars for the rest of his life.
Again, we do not know what is the information that law enforcement had before going in to execute that search warrant.
But perhaps the most shocking aspect of this unfolding drama is the revelation that Diddy may not be acting alone. According to sources close to the investigation, there are whispers of a shadowy figure pulling the strings behind the scenes, orchestrating Diddy's downfall with ruthless...
Stop right there. This is something that we've all been trying to figure out. Is it somebody behind the scenes pulling the strings? Is it somebody? Is it a particular mastermind that's pulling the strings for P. Diddy's downfall? And if so, who could it possibly be? And why do y'all think now? Salute OG Patrice. I see you. Positive Vibe says we definitely know he wasn't alone doing all of this. Yes, we definitely know that. He wasn't alone. He wasn't alone. But I'm curious. I'm curious on exactly what and who was you protecting, Misa? She said that. She ain't protecting nobody no more. Only her son. What did you see? Mel says Gene Deal's account of what happened to Biggie does not make sense. Sofari says Cassidy never lied. I love her also. And Danity Kane. We're going to be going to Aubrey O'Day in a few seconds. She said that P. Diddy tried to silence her with the ownership of her publishing or their publishing. 80s Baby says the elites are pulling the strings. He's not making any more money for them, so he gotta go. Mel says, I personally don't think Diddy was doing all of that, but he knows everybody. Oh yeah. And when they talk about running plays on social media, you know how they be mentioning this person running a play, that person ran a play. This is a major play. Sofari says Diddy had wrong power. Tupac was saying it all along. And I always go back to Tupac. Go back. It was a 1996 Vibe magazine interview. Tupac laid it all down. And keep in mind, 96, this was before P. Diddy and them bad boys really took off. Tupac was laying it down. So just imagine. And everybody thought that Tupac and Suge Knight was being bullies. And everybody thought that Tupac and Suge Knight was jealous of Biggie and P. Diddy. And that wasn't the case. One thing that I learned in life, when you tell the truth, when you keep it real, for some strange reason, people like to throw the title on you that you are a bully. Hey, the truth is the truth. They wasn't no bullies. They was just keeping it real.
Precision. Whether this mysterious puppet master is a former associate seeking revenge or a rival intent on usurping Diddy's throne remains unclear. But one thing is certain, they will stop at nothing to bring him down.
And the reason why is because they gathered so much evidence. Was supposedly they gathered so many videos and laptops and also electronic.
As the net closes in on Diddy and his inner circle, those closest to him find themselves caught in the crossfire. From his sons, Justin and Christian, who were detained during the raids, to his ex-girlfriend, Misa Hilton, who has vowed to hold him accountable for his actions, no one is safe from the fallout of Diddy's unraveling empire. And with each new revelation, the once impenetrable fortress of Diddy's fame and fortune crumbles further, revealing the dark underbelly of power and privilege that has long defined his reign. As the storm around Diddy's empire gathers momentum, fans are weighing in on the unfolding drama, offering a spectrum of opinions that mirror the complexity of the situation.
Stop right there, y'all. Stop right there. I want to ask y'all this question. Now, I heard this from Gene Deal. And OG Patrice and the rest of y'all that listen to Gene Deal, I'm sure y'all heard it too. Looking at his son right there, the light-skinned one, Gene Deal says that that's not even P. Diddy's real son. Gene Deal says that this one looks more like Wolf than he does P. Diddy. Now, if we look at the dark-skinned one, the dark-skinned one look just like P. Diddy. That's P. Diddy all day long. Now we're going to come to my man, the light-skinned one. Gene Deal says that the light-skinned one, his father is Wolf. Positive Vibe says, I believe that. Drop a 1. Drop a 1 if y'all believe that too. Allegedly. Could the light-skinned one be Wolf's son and not P. Diddy? Drop a 1 if y'all think so. Drop a 2 if y'all feel like looks don't have nothing to do with it. That's P. Diddy's son. Judy dropped a 1. Come on, y'all, drop them 1s. Drop them 1s. Drop them 1s. '80s baby dropped the 1. '80s baby says definitely. Mel says Aubrey wanted to be bigger than the group, but she realized it was lonely at the top once they get what they want. Sofari says, I agree. I wish Mace bring out his diss on Diddy. He have a lot to say. Yes. Yes. Yes, a lot of them got a lot to say. Sofari dropped the 1. '80s baby says, just like he claiming Quincy, and Quincy ain't his. That's true. That's true, '80s baby. That's true. We're going to swing to Aubrey O'Day. We're going to swing to Danity's Kane member, and then we're going to come back. We're going to come back. We're going to chop it up on what she has to say. I'm sure she's seen a lot. Let's go here.
Okay, check this out.
Let's see what Aubrey talking about.
Plan on getting off Diddy's neck anytime soon because she just exposed him for being behind the death of Kim Porter. This came shortly after Aubrey's ex-boyfriend, Donald Trump Jr., alluded to Diddy being responsible for Kim's death. Rumors of Diddy unaliving Kim have been going around for a long time, but this is the first that somebody is coming through with receipts to prove it.
Once again, all of this is allegedly. I see you, Miss James. All of this is allegedly. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. None of this is facts. This is all allegedly. Drop a 1 if y'all think Diddy allegedly was behind Kim Porter's death. Drop a 2 if y'all think he wasn't.
Even speculated that Diddy took Kim out because he found out she was writing a tell-all book about him. There have also been questions about the validity of Kim's autopsy report, and people even going as far as accusing Diddy of paying a huge sum of money for Kim's autopsy to be tampered with. Aubrey is actually one of the people that Diddy has ripped off, and she's been very vocal about her dislike for him. Aubrey has spent the last few years exposing Diddy, and it looks like she finally has what it takes to put him behind bars once and for all. Now, as most of y'all already know, Kim Porter's name has been coming up a lot since Diddy got exposed for being a terrible person. People even believe he had something to do with her death, and they're demanding for police to reopen Kim's case and investigate everything all over again. See, at the time of Kim's death, there was a lot of inconsistencies in the investigation that made people believe the entire thing was tampered with. For example, the coroner who was in charge of investigating Kim's death, Ed Winter, initially ruled her death a homicide after finding toxins in Kim's body. But before he could finalize the investigation, he was thrown off the case and replaced by another coroner.
What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Suspicious, right? That's suspect. That's very suspicious right there.
This new coroner was hella shady right from the jump because it took him over 2 weeks to confirm that Kim died from pneumonia, which is quite long because it definitely doesn't take that long to confirm that somebody died from pneumonia.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they...
Stop right there. The first coroner report said that her death was due to a homicide. Right? That's what the first coroner's report was, death by homicide. Now, the second coroner, death by pneumonia. Suspicious, y'all, suspicious.
They found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And
but it doesn't end there. When the autopsy reports came out, there were questions about the manner in which Kim died. According to sources, the reports about Kim being found unresponsive by the house help was just a lie made up by Diddy. She was actually found on her bed with blood on her pillowcases and a slight trail of blood on the bedroom floor that led to the bathroom. She was also strategically placed on the bed to mess with the police investigation.
Wow. She was strategically placed on the bed. Salute Miss Parker and Pee Wee. She was strategically placed on the bed to mess up the police's report.
A lot of people at the time believed that the reason why Diddy unalived her is because she was writing a tell-all book about him. And it looks like we finally have the confirmation as to whether Diddy was responsible for Kim's death or not. Because Aubrey just came through with all the evidence and she didn't hold anything back. Now, for those of y'all who don't know Aubrey, she was a part of the popular girl group Danity Kane, the group that was put together by Diddy for his label Bad Boy Entertainment. But they ended their working relationship with Diddy after finding out that Diddy was taking advantage of them.
So, allegedly, they ended working with Diddy once they found out that Diddy was taking advantage of them. That story sounds familiar. Most of all the artists on Bad Boy have that same story. They found out Diddy was taking advantage of them. So, once again, it's not looking good for P. Diddy at all. It seems like P. Diddy has a habit of taking advantage of people.
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't
You
like
do
big hair.
like big hair. You like big hair.
You
like
need to stop
like
the
a lot of
generalizations
makeup
about
and
me.
all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've. I'm not worried about whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about. For real. Like, maybe you just don't get me.
Aubrey revealed not too long ago that Diddy would try to hook up with them behind the scenes and that he would psychologically mistreat them when they rejected his advances. As if that wasn't bad enough, he made them all sign NDAs so they wouldn't be able to say anything about the things he was doing to them. In fact, these rumors came up again a few months ago when Diddy decided to give back the publishing rights that he stole from his artists after keeping it to himself and cashing in on all their royalties for the past 30 years. But it was later revealed that he made all of them who wanted their publishing back to sign an NDA, promising to never speak about what happened during their days at Bad Boy. What's even shadier about this was that just a few weeks before Cassie slapped him with her lawsuit, he knew the lawsuit was coming, and he was basically trying to do damage control. But see, not all of them signed them NDAs, and that included Aubrey. She said she knew something was about to go down because of how hard Diddy was pushing for his artists to sign the NDA, and she warned the rest of the girls not to take that deal.
I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
Wow. Let's stop right there. So that's what offering them they publishing, that's the purpose of him wanting to give them they publishing. And then once they sign that agreement, then they cannot come forward and speak on any affairs, business, social, personal. They can't speak on any of those affairs, which is a smart chess move. Don't get me wrong. That's definitely a smart chess move. However, she wasn't going for it.
So that you just got recently for this thing?
I got it a few months ago when he started
what's
doing
in the news
this.
now?
So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote. At a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1,000,000 times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay? It's hundreds of dollars. And me as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now.
This was later confirmed by Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, who said that Danity Kane were actually the only ones who didn't sign that NDA.
Did he make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him? Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists when he gave them their publishing back. I'm gonna give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Cohn, Justin Cohn, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to. And I think that's those girls that was, I think Danity Kane. I think a couple of them didn't sign it. And boy, oh boy, they probably gonna go after him too.
Aubrey also revealed that Diddy would intentionally pit them against each other to cause divisiveness in the group so that he could have more control.
The stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are insane.
And this ain't the first time that Aubrey has talked about how Diddy used to mistreat them. In fact, during her interview on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she talked about how Diddy used to body shame them and exposed him for kicking her out of the group after she refused to get with him.
Thing you could imagine why somebody would want to fire somebody.
Can you give us a little?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions. Torture, and not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games, like just all the girls were so divided, and the men and the people running it had their hands in it, moving everything. There was a lot of betrayal, there was a lot of lies, there was a lot of, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person.
And it looks like Aubrey...
Salute Londa. That's an old pimp move. That's an old pimp tactic, you know, what pimps would do back in the days. You know, of course, they would play each hoe against each other. And, of course, the mind games. They would, you know, make some of them feel like, you know, they wasn't pretty. They wasn't, you know, living up to his standards. And he would, you know, throw around, well, you know, y'all are nothing like so-and-so. So-and-so gets out there and get me my money. So-and-so is pretty. People are always coming up to so-and-so, telling so-and-so how pretty she is. And, you know, I mean, it could really play on a female's self-esteem. So P. Diddy was using some pimping tactics, as y'all could hear from Miss Aubrey. Let's check out some more, though. Let's listen to some more before we really dive deep into this demonstration. I want to listen to some more.
Ain't done yet, because she just publicly threatened to release major evidence that could land Diddy in jail. So recently, Aubrey's ex-boyfriend Donald Trump Jr. appeared in an interview with DJ Academics, and he revealed that Kim did not die from pneumonia like what we've all been made to believe. Donald said his ex-wife, Vanessa K. Trump, confided in him at the time of Kim's death and told him that she suspected that Diddy may have unalived Kim. According to Donald, Vanessa and Kim were very close at the time, and Kim had told Vanessa a few times that she was scared of Diddy.
I used to get invited to the cool person parties. I was there.
You don't hear anything.
Not those parties. So not me directly, but it's my ex-wife actually she was a model in New York, and like she was really good friends with Kim Porter, who was Diddy's wife, the one who died at 47 from pneumonia, and it was like when that happened, she called me, and this was a couple of years ago now, maybe not even, a couple of years ago, and she called me like, something's up with that. I go, what do you mean? She's like, oh dude, Kim used to tell me like it was a bad, like there was a lot of weird shit that I didn't even know that, like, but they were like, you know, they'd do photo shoots together or whatever. They were sort of friendly. Like they'd hang out. Like we'd see them out downtown. Like I'd hang out with her. Not so much with Dad. I think it was already sort of over there. But like she was really afraid of him. And like this goes back years. And so like, and she was having these conversations with my ex. I was like, I don't know what like.
A lot of people believe that whatever happened there happened with the woman afterwards, which was Cassie, and it's supposedly.
No, like I said, like I didn't. You sort of don't think about these things until now. You go back and you're like, holy crap! Like I distinctly remember when Vanessa was like calls me, was like, hey man, Kim Porter died a lot. Like we saw her like a couple of weeks or whatever it was. It was and she goes, yeah man, she was sort of always in fear of something happening. And I was like, maybe it's natural, but like not a lot of people die at 47 of pneumonia. Like you know what I mean? It's like. Especially people who, obviously
there's a ton of rumors.
And I'm actually not trying to fuel any kind of rumor, but I definitely, like, that's a conversation I had. Like, someone who knew her well, was like, friend, like, they text, like, was like, something. She was like, something, she's like, something,
That's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main thing when it comes to this P. Diddy case. If this ever reaches a trial, and I want everybody to remember what I say, if this ever reaches a trial, the one thing that the prosecutors are going to have, besides witnesses, because that's going to go along with what I'm about to say. The one thing that the prosecutor is going to drive in on this case, the picture, the character, and they're going to be able to paint P. Diddy's character. They're going to be able to paint him as a monster. And they're going to bring testimonies from all these different females, all these different women, and all these women that they had that's going to testify. They're all going to testify that P. Diddy made them feel threatened. They were scared of P. Diddy. The one thing that the prosecutor is going to ask, you was in a romantic relationship with him. You shared a home with him. You have a child by him. What kept you from leaving? You could have left at any given moment. Why did you stay with P. Diddy? And Misa and Cassie is going to say the same thing. They're going to say, he threatened me. He said that if I would leave, that he would harm me. And it's going to be able to paint an easy picture. Just look at how all of this is playing out, everybody. Just look at how it's all playing out. And that's why they're going to come for P. Diddy, trust me. They gonna come. Some people are wondering, such as myself. Like, goddamn, they done raided 2 of his homes, maybe 3 of his homes, but they done raided his homes. They got allegations from this person. They got allegations from that person. So what are they waiting for? They just letting it play out. They're waiting right now, believe it or not. They're waiting for P. Diddy to make a careless mistake. Even with all that they have. This is how the feds work. This is how the FBI work. Even with what they have, they still want more. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me what is it that they want. But that's just how they play. Now, let's chop it up. So we heard from Misa Hilton, who has a child by P. Diddy. We also heard from one of Danity Kane's members, Aubrey O'Day. I'm going to check in with the chat. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about what you all just heard. And there's more. There's more. Because I want to go back to Gene Deal. I want to go back to Jaguar Wright. Remember, Gene Deal had spoke on this months before Aubrey came out. Salute Yvette. Salute Yvette. Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright, they've been spoke on what they're coming out saying. How did they know? How did they know? Come on, chat, talk to me.
Did not believe that was just...
This interview was a major shock to people because nobody expected for Donald Trump Jr. to come out and suggest something like this. But this was just the beginning of something even crazier because just hours after this interview was posted, Aubrey stepped into the chat agreeing to everything Donald said. Not only that, but she had concrete evidence to confirm that Diddy unalived Kim Porter and that she's currently working on a documentary to expose it all.
Now, she claims that she has concrete evidence. She claims she's working on a documentary. Mel says, so of all these people, no one knows who the puppet masters are. Good question, Mel. Yvette C says, I miss y'all. Me and hubby been on vacation. We missed you too, Yvette C. I'm glad that you're back with us. Tell hubby I said salute. Tell hubby I said what's up. I'm glad that you're back. But apparently, she's working on a documentary where she's going to be dropping a lot of receipts. Now, let's stop. Let's stop. Because I got to play devil's advocate. I got to play devil's advocate. Do y'all think that it's all about this book? Do y'all think that it's all about this documentary? Because we got to be careful. We got to be careful. Anytime somebody tells you, you have to wait for the book. You have to wait for the documentary. It makes me think, well you know, is this some BS? How do y'all feel? I see positive vibes.
She said, just to be clear, my long-term ex, Donald Trump Jr., went on academics to discuss my ex-boss Diddy and all the conspiracies behind Kim Porter's death. I keep telling you all, I am in the center of really knowing all the information and always have been. I'm about to Aubrey O'Day, the ish out of everyone playing games right now. Y'all think this Kendrick and Drake ish is cute? Just wait, because the expose hasn't even started. At this point, it's still unclear what exactly Aubrey knows about Kim's suspicious passing, but the fact that she's confident enough to come on the internet and announce it shows that whatever she knows can potentially be what the police need to officially throw Diddy in jail. As usual, people have their own thoughts about this, like this person who said, you don't just die of pneumonia at home unless you're already dying of other serious conditions and on home hospice. If Kim had pneumonia that was progressing to the point where she could die from it, she would have had symptoms that would have absolutely required her to present to an ER/hospital for treatment. Diddy is gross in the worst ways. I've always sensed this since the beginning. Since he started inserting himself on other people's tracks with his non-rapping. Since he first debuted his evil little eyes. Another person said, if Aubrey had any information, a person in their right mind would go to the police and not to social media for attention. Aubrey is washed and no one is checking for her. She does this every year and...
Stop right there. I'm gonna read it, but then I'm gonna play it. Listen now, and now I'm playing devil's advocate. It makes sense. Both make sense. Listen. Somebody wrote, if Aubrey had any information, a person in their right mind will go to the police and not the social media for attention. That's where I'm at. I see you, Heather. Heather said Kim was writing a book and rumors say she gave a copy to 3 people, and I wonder if one. Listen, everybody. Somebody wrote under the post, if Aubrey had any information, a person in their right mind will go to the police and not to social media for attention. She says, Aubrey is washed up and no one is checking for her. She does this every year and says nothing. I'm going to let it finish playing.
says nothing. She was fired in 2008. Kim passed in 2018. What possibly could you know that's current? Unless it's hearsay by Donald Trump Jr. Pillow talking about what the wife has told him. She's one attention-seeking individual. The lies she told about Polly D showed that she would do anything for attention. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Aubrey suggesting that Diddy unalived Kim? And do y'all think Kim's case should be reopened and investigated again? Y'all been knew what to do.
Mel says, Aubrey need to keep it real. She wanted to be solo from the group because she thought she was the bigger star of that group, but she didn't have the look. That was said many years ago, and that's true, Mel. And one thing that I can say, me being a former manager, a former producer, a movie director, I will say, I've worked. Let me read Miss Jams and then I'm going to finish my comment. Miss Jams says she can't go to the police if they allegedly on Diddy payroll. She should go to HSI and the FBI. Now, one thing that I do know, working with artists, actors, actresses, working with people, period, they will flip the script on you. Also, and I'm sure when it comes to P. Diddy's work ethics, I mean, look at all of the hits that P. Diddy produced. Now, you're going to get people. Now, I've been in the business for years, and I get people, even to this day, I get people come to me trying to explain to me about the business what I already know, and they be dead wrong. They be dead wrong, and I be trying to tell them, I be trying to let them know this is not my first film. This is not my first movie. This is not my first time going in the studio. So I can show all of y'all that I'm sure P. Diddy has went through that. Now, I can't say whether or not who he went through it with. It seems like he probably went through it with Aubrey from Danny to Kane, because it was said years ago that she thought that she was it. And even in the Destiny Child, even in Drew Hill, if you go and if you study any groups, R&B groups, rap groups, study them, learn the history. Most of the arguments came because one of the members, New Edition, one of the members felt as though they made the group. Now, P. Diddy, being this producer, he is going to have to. And like I'm saying, I'm sure plenty of times he had to check them and say, hold up, look, I'm running this. So some of it, I could say possibility, but then some things I can honestly say, nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe, and this is just my perspective. Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that everything that we're hearing about P. Diddy, I don't believe that it's all true. I just don't. You know what I mean? Like I said, y'all knew what y'all was getting into with this man. We talking about P. Diddy. Y'all seen the signs. Now, if it was me, if Shank Rock tried to holler at y'all, and if Shank Rock was trying to carry y'all like P. Diddy was carrying y'all for all those years, I wouldn't have stood a chance. Because y'all would have looked at me as a nobody. Y'all would have looked at me as an off-brand. Y'all would have looked at me as having nothing to offer y'all. And that's what I want to talk to y'all about. When it comes to a man or woman, because it can go both ways. When it comes to a man or a woman that has something to offer you, how can you get mad if you going into this, you're trying to get from this man or woman, but end up this man or woman plays you? You can't get mad. It's all come with the game. It's no way in the world. It's no way in the world that you can convince me. Same way with the R. Kelly. Y'all remember? The parents were taking their kids, dropping them off with R. Kelly. After the first video of R. Kelly pissing on the 15-year-old. What did Usher mother say? Usher mother said that I done my homework on him. Well, obviously, you didn't do a good enough homework anytime you let your 13-year-old son live with a grown man. Stop right there. If somebody told you to let Usher at 13 years old go and live with Shank Rock, and Shank Rock ain't have all this going on, do y'all think she would allow Usher at 13 to come live with Shank Rock? Hell no. We got to start calling a spade, people. We got to call a spade. They are just as responsible as a P. Diddy. Let's drop some comments, y'all. Drop some comments for me. All right, here go another thing.
Thousands of older adults now swear their joints feel like they did back in their 20s. Here's how.
He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally casket ready.
Trump got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97.
And she said, she said, no, Ben, I love you. And Puffy, I love you too. I adore that we're the last two people on earth who refer to him as Puffy. Really? Remember, I am hip-hop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny how when men get older in hip-hop, they're still, well-respected, well-versed, Kool Herc, you know what I'm saying, and Red Alert, and, the legends, KRS-One. You put me in there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, Wendy's a talk show lady. No. I listened to Big L on the way to work.
When we were younger, you were in your left ear, and I was supposed to sit straight, and you in your right ear, that'd be gay, and then at one point, people started wearing both earrings, and you know what I mean?
And then they started wearing girl pants, and then they're wearing jeggings, and then, yes, it's very effeminized, but be very clear, there were lots of homosexuals in hip-hop back in the 80s, too. you know, what's worse? You know, hip hop wearing skirts or hip hop being closeted and having a plethora of kids to prove manhood that, you know, and denial of something that you shouldn't have to deny, which is your sexuality. So I hear what Jamar is saying, but we come from a very homosexual era of hip hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle. There were many situations, none of which to talk about, but there were many situations back in the day in my career. And it's all coming full circle now. So,
A time where it's cool to be a gay rapper?
I don't know. Because I still see Frank Ocean as being one amongst many, but one, and that's good. But, you know, and then there was the notion of this radio DJ in New York who is in denial. So that just goes to show you how far the homosexual movement within hip hop and sports still needs to go. It is politically correct to be accepting, but behind closed doors, people are still hating. And Jason, the basketball player, is one. But it will be a long time, I think, before another actively playing in the locker room ball player comes out.
Was Wendy Williams lying all along? Following Wells Fargo's 2022 allegation that Wendy Williams was not of sound mind, the host is now under financial conservatorship. However, Wendy appears to be in good health and is only pretending to be insane to keep Diddy away from her, claims Jaguar Wright.
He was waiting for Kim. Remember? He was waiting. The casket was ready. She was literally casket ready.
Some people are saying the whole Wendy Williams documentary that she's pretty much allegedly playing this way to keep herself safe from him, from any unaliving.
It's been working for Orlando Brown. Why wouldn't it work for Wendy?
To play crazy.
Why wouldn't it work?
What do y'all think? Do y'all think, allegedly, Wendy Williams has been acting crazy to keep Diddy from harming her? Positive Vibes says Wendy's health really is bad. She not faking this. Okay, Positive Vibes, she's not believing that. Positive Vibes says that Wendy Williams' health is really bad. Who else feels the same way? Who else feels the same way? Who else feels that Wendy Williams' health is really bad and she's not faking this? Miss Jam says, no, she is really unwell. So we got Positive Vibes and Miss Jam saying that, no, she's really, really sick. When I see her, and when I saw Wendy Williams, if she was faking it, she was doing a hell of a job. Because I believe, as Miss Jams and Positive Vibes, that she's really sick. She was really sick. Mel says, so why isn't Jaguar speaking her mind and is not afraid of Diddy? Good point. Good point. Mel says Wendy has Graves' disease. Like, good point. Because Jaguar Wright, she go hard. Wendy Williams went hard too. I think with Wendy Williams, you know, Wendy Williams was under a lot of stress. You know, situation with her husband, and then just age. You know, trust me, the older you get, you know, you're going to have some health problems. 80s Baby says her health is bad from years of drinking and doing drugs. That's another good point. That's another good point. Salute Wanda. Salute Wanda. Appreciate you for pulling up. Wanda says, Shank, I think she was poisoned. How many of y'all think allegedly Wendy Williams was allegedly poisoned? Strong possibility. Salute, Leggin. Appreciate you, Leggin. Stay away from Positive Vibes, Leggin. I don't need you and Positive Vibes roasting me today, Leggin. So stay away from Positive Vibes. And Positive Vibes, you stay away from Leggin. But how many of y'all think possibility she could have been poisoned? Because you never know. You never know. Because remember, Wendy Williams was, I think Wendy Williams was in the early 90s. I think Wendy Williams was before Tupac started exposing everybody. Because Wendy Williams even said some things about Tupac. So I do recall Wendy Williams being one of the first that went hard. She was always dropping jewels on somebody. I don't eat ranch dressing, Leggin. I don't eat ranch dressing.
Hey.
The oosh got whoosh wash. Orlando's brilliant. Right.
Yeah.
Y'all spent time with him.
We did.
Drop a 1 if you think Orlando Brown is brilliant. Drop a 2 if you think he's really crazy, because he's another one. But Jaguar Wright says he's in character. Jaguar Wright says Orlando Brown really isn't crazy. How do y'all feel about Orlando Brown?
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No. I can only...
That's what he does as a character. Actually, this thing he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
Yeah. We seen quite on set.
Major pain in his ass. Literally. Since he was a kid.
Man.
And in eating milk, running around, talking about expensive pain.
No. Wait, this is Philly you're talking about now. Wait a minute, Jack.
Fuck me.
Wait a minute.
He's a fucking Fruit Loop. He Diddy fried.
This is Philly.
He's a deep fried period.
After all, Wendy once made some quite outrageous charges against Diddy.
MCA. Okay. That was common. Ask Wendy Williams.
That did happen to her too.
And it was women that set that up. Because they didn't like her swag and they were afraid that she was going to steamroll them. Because they knew when it came to creating content that was legit. So they put you in a bad situation. They tell you that the guy is okay even though everybody knows he's a boogeyman. And then they tell that guy she's easy. She slept with this one. She slept with that one. Then they call somebody and say, hey, you remember? Yo, didn't you used to date Wendy? Yo, tell him about how easy she was. And then they gas this up. And then the next thing you know, she out at dinner and this motherfucker pumped up. And they done already made sure that he done got 5 grams of right. Like, I'm not saying that people don't have choices. I'm saying that there are people that stack the deck to make sure that people lean more towards making bad choices than not. You know, I can speak of a legacy that, in my opinion, was mitigated, really over, for the sake of sparing a legacy that was totally untrue.
Take a look. Now, to understand where Wright is coming from, let's have a tad bit of background about the dynamic Wendy and Diddy share.
Well, everybody, the Puffy Combs trial has begun, and, you know, the prosecutors are saying that Puffy fired at least 1 gunshot into the ceiling of the nightclub, which is, like, ridiculous. This whole thing happened back, of course, in December of '99. The comment came during the opening statements, and 3 people were injured during a shooting. Of course, Shine and Anthony Wolf Jones, the bodyguard, will also be standing trial. They're also saying that when the gunshots rang out, now whoever threw the, pulled the trigger, whatever, Puffy ran out of the club so fast and got into the waiting SUV that it wasn't until he got into the truck that he realized that he left Jennifer behind, along with his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf. He just, ran. Forget it. That's a true sign of an itch bag.
Puff got one of the hottest DJs off of Hot 97. Because she wanted to put up a picture of him getting his pants pulled down.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Puff had power.
Speaking of that, right, I'm happy you brought that up. Kirk Burrows, I did an interview with him some months ago, and he told a story about Wendy Williams. She got fired from Hot 97 because she had a picture of Puffy, and she was saying on air that she was going to reveal the picture. If you don't mind, because he told me the story, but he didn't go into detail. He never told me about what was in the picture. So if you don't mind, give me the story from your point of view, and what was in the picture, because for some reason, he never went into detail about that.
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the island of women. You understand? And this is all it was, bro. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk and pulled them down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like he was gay, something like that. And
that was early 90s.
She was going to put it out. So they stopped her from putting it out.
And they got her fired from Hot 97 because of that.
Well, I think that we were in California at the time. And Puff was shooting a layout for either Rolling Stones or what's the other magazine? Rolling Stones, it begins with a B. Billboard, right. Hey, he was shooting the layout for either Rolling Stone or Billboard when he had the white suit on. I was the one who put him in the damn pool. What happened was that Wendy had somehow shown people that email. You hear me? She's shown people that email. Puff told Hot 97,
listen,
if they didn't get rid of her, you understand, before he got back in New York, that they was not going to get any music from any of his friends, any of the record labels executives that was cool with him. Everybody was going to boycott their station.
Now that was in the early 90s. Now, P. Diddy arm was strong. Early 90s. Now just off of the picture and him telling them, if y'all don't get rid of Wendy Williams, did y'all know that before Wendy Williams had her talk show, Wendy Williams was on Hot 97. She was on the radio in New York. P. Diddy got her fired. P. Diddy told him, salute Sages, if you don't get Wendy Williams, if she's not fired by the time I get back, Gene Deal said it, y'all won't get no more music from me or my friends. So we could see that the manipulation game, we could see that Puff's game started early on in the career of his. You figure this was before Bad Boy popped off. Tupac was still alive. This is the influence that P. Diddy has. Let's listen.
We was out in LA for about 3 days before we landed back in New York. Wendy Williams was in the radio station in Philly. It was over for her. She was fired.
Now, drop your comments. Mel says, but Wendy was pivotal in lessening the damage at City High. Yeah. Now, of course, Wendy ain't no saint. Wendy Williams wasn't no saint. She ain't no saint. Her hands was dirty. If you ask me, all their hands was dirty. You know.
The pair's drama started in the 1990s when Williams repeatedly called out Diddy on her radio program, Hot 97. Williams was let off from the radio program in 1998, but he has stuck to his belief that Diddy was involved. Williams achieved popularity with her talk show, The Wendy Williams Show, which debuted in 2008, despite splitting with the radio station. She covered a wide range of Diddy news throughout her reign on daytime television, including his several legal dramas. When Williams joined Diddy on her show in 2017, it seemed as though they had put their differences behind them after years of ups and downs. Then again, though, everything went south. Wendy Williams stated on her radio show, The Wendy Williams Experience, in 2005, that she was nearly jumped by the girl group Total, who was signed to Diddy's record label, Bad Boy Records, before she was dismissed from Hot 97. Williams recounted the purported incident and alluded to Diddy's involvement in a 2019 talk show segment. Then, in a 2013 interview with Vlad TV, Williams hinted at the circumstances surrounding her dismissal from Hot 97 and how they related to her conjectures regarding the sexual orientation of a hip-hop artist. She made a joke saying, "There was a radio personality once upon a time, and her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such, and now it's all come full circle. There were many situations back in the day in my career, and it's all coming full circle." Naturally, Williams, who calls the rapper Puffy, also made fun of him for changing his name so much during the course of his career.
Hello! And I also like that she said, let them both drown. But then she came back, she backpedaled, and she said, you didn't see this part, she said, no, Ben, I love you. And Puffy, I love you too. I adore that we're the last two people on earth who refer to him as Puffy. I don't like when people change their names in the middle of our relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? Like don't tell me to call you Diddy. I know you as Puffy. That's it. I would let them both drown too, Jen. I'm going to tell you why. And I mean it. First of all, Ben Affleck gave me a $5 million pink ring. We bought a beautiful Gone with the Wind style house in Georgia. I put you in the Bentley and we did the video together. We paraded on the red carpet and you break off the engagement and embarrass me? Die! And Puffy, you had me speeding through numerous traffic lights, doing gunplay in a nightclub. You remember, you had me do the perp walk and spend a few hours in jail? Die! But we do have to investigate things around here. We don't just fly by the seat of our pants and just start talking. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but she also mentioned having a certain level of contempt for Puff in her 2004 book, The Wendy Williams Experience, because he single-handedly tried to ruin her career. She wrote, "The hell he put me through. I'll always remember this. I don't detest him, though."
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It felt wonderful. You know why? Like we were talking about fallen soldiers. Yeah. People from our era who die, or you see somebody and they don't look the same in a bad way. We see a lot of that now. For me, Puff coming and representing the height of the Forbes list, the number one entertainer, not rapper entertainer. He beat Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, all them people, the Clooney's, the Doonies, and the Boonies. He's number one.
Stop right there. Do y'all think that that's why the elites are mad? Do y'all believe that that could be the reason why the powers to be is raining on P. Diddy's parade? Do y'all think that that may have something to do with it, that he beat all those names on that list? How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel that way? Positive Vibe says no. She ain't buying it. And also, I'm going to go to Christopher Williams because allegedly Christopher Williams has called out Jaguar Wright.
That's my error. I helped him do Bad Boy. He knows. We were all in the trenches together at a particular time. And just good. Real great. And a real accomplishment, hopefully to show maybe some of the younger people or somebody, if somebody can try to, do you in, but the power of forgiveness and the power of going on and making it. Because I've always been motivated by haters, including my parents. You got a pretty face if you lose some weight, says my dad when I'm a young girl. The first name you're supposed to love. How do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now, we all have heard that Jaguar Wright has said that a lawyer friend of hers went into the Bad Boy office and he saw, allegedly, Christopher Williams on his knees entertaining P. Diddy. Well, Christopher Williams has clapped back. Christopher Williams has called Jaguar Wright a crackhead. Let's check out Christopher Williams. What he says about Jaguar Wright.
Not there be no grounds that pretty much, but I'm afraid for anyway. I wish it would. I'm from the Bronx. I'm back from the ball.
No, that's what I thought you said. Because that's what I got right now, nothing. $1 million a week business.
I gotta show y'all this. I gotta show y'all this. I gotta show y'all this. This is funny. I gotta show y'all this. This is funny.
Jaguar Wright is a crackhead. Not there be no grounds that pretty much, but I'm afraid for anyway. I wish it would. I'm from the Bronx. I'm back from the ball.
No, that's what I thought you said. Because that's what I got right now, nothing. $1 million a week business. Reduce the f***ing rubbers. Nino! Huh? It's your responsibility, huh? Nino! I never liked you anyway. Pretty motherfucker. Look at it. Kareem Akbar. That's right, the educated brother from the bank. He's the real head of the CMB. The brains behind the whole thing. I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen to it. If I'm going down, I'll take my whole lot of people with me. Order in the court. Order in the court.
They wild for that. Look.
Don't care. That's my prerogative. Yeah. Call me a crackhead, but I don't give a damn. Chasing crack is who I am. So I'm asking my girlfriend, do he smoke for real? My girl don't understand it. My baby don't know the deal about my brother. Trying hard to get high. I see nothing wrong.
And Christopher Williams responded to Jaguar. So, first, before we even get into Christopher Williams' response, we got to pull up Jaguar, making them allegations against the boy. Right. So, let's go ahead and pull up Jag video first.
And to get that throwback.
Recollection real quick, so we can get, recollect on that and recap that first. Right. And then we'll get into, his response.
Make sure y'all smash that like button if y'all haven't already, man.
Said a lot of things about these folks over there, so they finally responded because as more she go viral, the more they like, oh, I see. So now I got to, respond to this. So let's go ahead and get into this.
I think it was like 03. Yeah, it was right before me and Music Soul Child did the Grey Goose tour. There was a young woman, beautiful woman. She's a lawyer, or at least she was. She used to be an entertainment lawyer. I'm not going to say her name. The story is enough. Because I don't know. I hope I won't be putting her in danger. But she shouldn't have to feel afraid after all of these years, almost 20 years, you know. But I had to give her a job. I should say I had to give her a job. I gave her a job working for me so she could find some safety. Because while she was working at Bad Boy, because she was one of the lead counsels for Bad Boy Entertainment, she witnessed something. She witnessed something that was disturbing to her. But what was really disturbing to her was a conversation that she had with Diddy after. See, Christopher Williams, I don't know, I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork. See? And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio or Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just walked out, and she just kept her head down at the office the rest of the day, I believe it was. And I don't think it was at the end of business day that day, but I think it was the following day. He came into her office and was like, yeah, so you came in there, so what? What you want to do? You want to say something? And she was like, oh, no, she was like, I just don't understand why you left the door unlocked. If you were in there doing that, why would you leave the door unlocked? He said, I'll do whatever I want to do in my building. And she was, I just don't know. He was like, it's policy. He said, if I can make a man suck I can make people do anything for money. That's what you said, Puff, about Christopher Williams sucking for a demo deal. And you cut him a check. And you chased that young woman out of New York, just like you tried to chase Wendy Williams out of New York.
All right, so that's Jag making claims that
How did she get this information?
she said a lawyer or something
Right.
told her.
Right, a lawyer told. And why would this lawyer disclose this information to her?
Right. 90daynetmarket.com, man. 25% off. All right, we there. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video, y'all.
Let's get it, y'all.
Get it. All right. So, all right, this is Christopher Williams' response to Jagatha.
Stop that Nino Brown shit, that pretty motherfucker. I done said, yo, Diddy, that punk ass nigga, they talk about that I gave that punk ass nigga some head. Jaguar Wright is a crackhead, but I'm gonna pray for him anyway. I wish a nigga would. I'm from the Bronx. I smacked fucking ass for ball. We was locked up, he made my face ass. You better ask somebody in the real world who Christopher Williams is in real life. This singing shit twisted at all. And now that that's there, we're gonna take it back.
Wow. So Christopher Williams has clapped back finally, because Jaguar made those accusations on the Christopher Williams and P. Diddy demonstration. She been said that, but Christopher Williams said he from the Bronx. He said you better ask somebody in the real world. He said Jaguar Wright is a crackhead. Now I did hear Gene Deal. I did hear Gene Deal co-sign for Christopher Williams. Gene Deal even said, he was like, I know that man in real time. He said, he said, Christopher Williams, that ain't him. He said, I doubt if that happened. He said, I know Christopher Williams in real time. So now we're back to questioning Jaguar Wright. Can we believe everything that Jaguar Wright says? I like OG Patrice's answer a few demonstrations ago. She said that basically Jaguar Wright gives a little truth, but then she sprinkles a lot of BS. I mean, to make it, sell. Positive Vibe says no. Mel says, but why would she tell Jaguar? Right. So as of today, I'm not buying that Christopher allegedly was on his knees entertaining P. Diddy. I'm not buying that. go back. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Misa. Remember I said we would come back to Misa. We're going to come back to Misa.
Have you heard of this brand new product that instantly cleans toilets without any scrubs?
Let's go back to Misa Hilton.
Pour in one scoop.
Being linked to a trafficking investigation. He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down a hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films.
Woo! Diddy is done, as both his LA and Miami homes were just raided by Homeland Security in connection to a trafficking investigation. Fox 11 has posted video that appears to show several individuals in handcuffs near the property, and a couple of them appear to be Diddy's sons, Justin and King Combs.
Y'all, Misa Hilton is in full mama bear mode after Diddy tried to take their son Justin down with him in his shenanigans. Justin recently got arrested by Homeland Security during a raid at Diddy's house in LA, and reports have it that Diddy is setting Justin up to be the fall guy for him. Well, not under Misa's watch, because she is going over and beyond to protect her son, and she is allegedly in the process of striking a deal with the feds to take Diddy down in exchange for Justin walking free. She is allegedly prepared to hand over years of evidence to the feds that's going to help them take Diddy down once and for all. Chile, y'all need to get on this drama, because Misa did not come to play with Diddy at all.
It is now the Department of Homeland Security, their what's called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, gave CNN a statement. I'll read you part of that when asked about what this activity is. They say that earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. That is it, confirming that they are conducting what they're deeming law enforcement action, which could indicate search warrants being conducted there, could indicate arrests being conducted.
Y'all, it's starting to look like everybody around Diddy is starting to turn against him, including his baby mama, Misa Hilton, because the streets are saying that Misa is now trying to strike a deal with the feds to take Diddy down in exchange for letting her son Justin walk free. I'm not gonna lie, it's not all that surprising that Misa would be making moves against Diddy, because she has made it clear in the past that she is not here for Diddy's antics and his shenanigans, especially when it comes to their son. Plus, Misa and Diddy have had bad blood for years now, and Misa hasn't even been trying to hide the fact that she can't stand Diddy. He reportedly started hooking up with Misa before she turned legal, and when she got pregnant with Justin, he was a deadbeat dad to Justin for the...
Stop right there. Now, allegedly, she was hooking up with Diddy before she was legal. What's going on, Rock Squad? What's going on, Rock Squad? Allegedly, Misa Hilton had been hooking up with P. Diddy before she became legal. Same way that with Cassidy. Who else was illegal? The girl, what demonstration that I done with Ern Hall and his baby mother? Come on, y'all. Help me understand this. Help me understand this. How is it that these men, these full-grown men, are hooking up with these minors? Where are the parents at? Where's Misa Hilton's parents? Where are the parents at? That they minor daughters, they teenage daughters, were hooking up with these men and then became impregnated by these men. And then just years later, everything was okay. What is wrong with this picture? Y'all are going to have to break it down for me, because I don't believe that I could break this down. how does this happen? And then we wonder why P. Diddy is allegedly the monster that he is. Obviously, some people allow P. Diddy to go untouched. Now I ask y'all, is it P. Diddy's fault that the parents, is it P. Diddy's fault that the bodyguards, is it P. Diddy's fault that the club owners, the bouncers, is it P. Diddy's fault that the security, is it his fault that all these people allowed him to get away with all this wicked and evil things that he's accused of? Make it make sense.
The first few years of Justin's life, he denied being Justin's dad and he contested the paternity. He didn't pay child support or provide for Misa or Justin, and he generally treated them badly. This explains why his rival at the time, Sugik Knight, paid Misa for him to take a...
What the science is showing us is the universe appears to be alive, it appears to be conscious.
Picture with Justin as a personal dig at Diddy. After a lot of back and forth, Diddy finally accepted that Justin was his and he took responsibility. Oh, and don't even get me started on how he used to put paws on Misa back in the day. According to his bodyguard Gene, Diddy once beat Misa so badly that she tried to crawl up under a car to hide from him.
We just solved that for you. So Misa was out there. She was messing with the dude from EPMG. That's why Puff first beat her ass. You know, she thought Puff was messing around, and then she started talking to the dude. EPMG came to see her, and Puff beat her till she got up under, beat her literally till she tried to run up under the car.
So, according to Gene Deal, Gene Deal mentioned anything that he has said on social media. If the FBI, if they need him to come and testify on that, Gene Deal said he coming. So now he just said that Diddy beat her so bad that she tried to run up underneath a car. Y'all heard it yourselves, because he found out that she was messing around with somebody in EPMD.
He was reckless with his hands, you know that, man, because I even wrote that about the book, and Kim got tired of that.
So considering everything that has gone down between them, it's not all that shocking that Misa is not a fan of Diddy and has been threatening to expose him for years now. For example, y'all remember what went down when Justin got arrested for a DUI in June last year? Misa went on a rant against Diddy on Instagram, where she called him out for using everyone around him to protect himself and causing their son to get a DUI. She wrote, "I'm not with none of that reality TV-ish. When is enough enough? I'm not protecting no one anymore. Just my son and all. The children I love a come to Jesus moment." The statement, "a fish rots from the head down," means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free. She continued, "Act bad, bad boy. I used to want to be a bad girl, but I chose to be a queen, tried and true. I'm not perfect, but I am intentional. I should have kept..."
Stop right there. Stop right there, because I want to touch off on that. Now, she's taking accountability, and I like that part. She's saying that she used to want it to be a bad girl, but she realized she was a queen. And that's what's happening amongst these black women. These black women are thinking going the bad girl route is cool and okay until they get into situations like this with a so-called bad boy. But luckily, in Misa's case, luckily, she was able to escape. Luckily. Now, for any of y'all ladies out there that wants to be a bad girl, y'all better recognize that y'all are a queen before y'all get into a bad girl predicament with a bad boy, and y'all end up losing y'all life or might end up losing y'all freedom. So I'm going to give Misa flowers for recognizing she wasn't with that bad girl. Let's listen to some more.
My child with me. She also said, everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me? When we all know whose fault it would be. At the time, people felt like she was doing too much because Justin was in his 30s and there was no reason for his mommy to be on social media dragging his daddy because a grown man in his 30s drank too much and couldn't order an Uber. But as the whole thing played out, reports started to emerge that Diddy was actually the one who got the DUI, but he forced Justin to take the fall for him because he didn't want to deal with the legal repercussions. That's not all, because that's not the first time that Diddy has interfered in Justin's life, and Misa has previously called him out for being obsessed with controlling his children's lives and holding their inheritance over their heads to keep them in line, even going as far as to manipulate their lives. For example, when Justin graduated high school, he got into Harvard, which is an impressive feat because y'all know that Harvard has one of the lowest acceptance rates in the world. But for some reason, Diddy forced Justin not to go to Harvard and had him transfer to UCLA so that he could be closer to him in LA. Now, I know that UCLA is a great school, but it's clear that Justin didn't want to go there at first because if he did, then he would have applied to UCLA, not Harvard. Plus, the excuse that Diddy gave doesn't really make a lot of sense because Diddy doesn't even spend a lot of time in LA. He shuffles between New York, Miami, and LA, and he often travels around, so it's not like he's going to be joined to Justin at the hip if he transfers to UCLA. But it was all about control and making sure that Justin knew who was in control. Anywho, Justin transferred, and he actually started doing well at UCLA. He got on the football team, and he was a good player. So good that talk of him going pro started coming up. And the next thing we knew, Diddy was arrested for putting his hands on Justin's coach at a game. He put his hands on the coach and threw a kettle bar at him. While the coach was luckily uninjured, that was the end of Justin's potential pro career in football because he was kicked out of the team. With Diddy's power and influence, you'd think that he would be able to get his son back on the team, right? Especially because it was his fault that Justin got kicked off the team. However, according to Misa, Diddy didn't make a single move to help Justin because that was Diddy's plan from the start. She claimed that Diddy doesn't want his children to become successful because that would mean that they would no longer be dependent on him and therefore would be out of his control. And he can't have that because he is obsessed with controlling and manipulating his own kids. She claimed that this is why none of his sons have made it big in the industry, even though their father owned a major label and had made several superstars in the industry, but couldn't do the same for his kids. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of sus. So when I say that Misa is sick and tired of Diddy's actions and that the lawsuit against her son was the last straw for her, I'm not joking, especially because her child might be going to prison over it. I know Justin is grown, but he is still her baby and she still feels protective over him. And the things that were alleged in the lawsuit are C-razy, and we all have Cassie to thank for bringing this to the limelight because her lawsuit against Diddy back in November really set the ball rolling and gave other victims the courage to speak up. Cassie claimed that Diddy forced her to start dating him not long after he signed her to Bad Boy Records, even though she was only 19 and he was like in his mid-30s or something like that. She claimed that he controlled every aspect of her life and she was stuck in the relationship because everybody was too scared of Diddy to help her. But being forced into a relationship was worse than she could have expected it to be. While he bought her lavish gifts, rented her a nice apartment and all that stuff, things were horrible behind the scenes because he would often put paws on her and hurt her so badly that she would have bruises all over her body and then send her to fancy hotels to hide out. But that's not all. Cassie also claimed that Diddy would often play mind games with her just so she understood just how dangerous he was and how easily he could hurt her if he wanted to. I mean, more than he was already doing. She claimed that he would force her to carry a firearm just so she knew it was there and that he was dangerous. Diddy played mind games too, making sure she knew just how dangerous he could be. Don't even get me started on how Diddy used to force her into what he referred to as freak-offs, where he would force her to hire male escorts and then force her to use so much drugs that she would be out of her mind with it, and then he would force her to be intimate with the escorts while he watched. It gets worse because, according to Cassie's lawsuit, while she was being intimate with the escorts against her will, Diddy would record the entire thing and then hold the video over her head when she tried to leave him, threatening to ruin her life and career by releasing the videos. But
Do y'all think that that's some of the tapes? Do y'all think that? Because I know Suge said that the raids wasn't so much about P. Diddy, but the raids was about footage of other people on it. But could it have been that the feds, the home security, was looking for those tapes? I think both. I do think both. I do believe I'm riding with what Suge said, but I also believe that they want P. Diddy as well. You know, I believe it's killing two birds with one stone. I don't think that they got an opportunity to get P. Diddy, that they're going to just pass up on P. Diddy and go after other folks when they could kill two birds with one stone. Shit, we going to raid P. Diddy's homes and we going to grab whatever we find. So I think that that's part of the raid. They want tapes. They want footage. That's my honest opinion. Now, what happens when they find these tapes and when they see who's on these tapes, that'll be the crossroad when it happens. But I believe that they want them tapes. They want them tapes. They want footage. They want tapes of anybody that's doing these SAs and Rs and these freak-offs.
But even though she stayed, 50 Cent later came out to claim that Diddy allegedly sent the videos around and that several people from the industry had seen them.
On telephone and shit, after the make shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like, that's right, they send me the girl pictures, like pictures of the girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow, you killing me up.
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
So from what he said, the videos had to have been taken during the freak-offs that Diddy forced her to do, but it gets worse. According to 50 Cent, he called Diddy to let him know what was going on, and from Diddy's response, 50 could tell that Diddy was the one who had been sending the videos around.
you know, I really kind of felt like those photographs was not happening because of Cassie.
This is
A lesson to all criminals. I don't promote no criminal activities, but a lesson to anybody that's breaking the law. Don't incriminate yourself. Don't be a Lamont Sanford. And if y'all don't know Lamont Sanford, watch Sanford and Son. Don't be a big dummy and incriminate yourself. Don't record. Make sure your ass ain't on no footage of doing anything illegal.
the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
Fiber helps you poop, right? Nope. What about drink?
All of it was happening because of pussy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's when a girl moved from a man and she upgraded. Niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying? They start feeling some kind of way, especially like.
That was messed up on so many levels, and Cassie laid it out in her lawsuit. At first, Diddy denied the allegations, telling the usual story of how Cassie was after money, blah, blah, blah. His lawyer released a statement saying he vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. Ms. Ventura's demand of 30 mailers under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Ms. Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. Cassie's lawsuit got the ball rolling, and it caused some other people to come out and expose Diddy for allegedly doing inappropriate things to them, like a woman who claimed that she met Diddy when she was a college student, and Diddy had been putting moves on her for months. In her lawsuit, she claimed that when she finally gave in, Diddy took her to a restaurant, and things looked good at first, but then she claimed that Diddy allegedly slipped something into her drink, and she was out of it after the drink. She claimed that he slipped her out of the restaurant, and well, you can imagine how that ended. A third victim claimed that she and her friend met Diddy and his friend Aaron Hall at an after party, and they clicked. The four of them went to Aaron's apartment after the party, where he and Aaron allegedly drugged the girls and then took turns to SA them. A fourth woman then stepped forward to accuse Diddy and his friends of allegedly SAing her when she was 17. She claims that Harv Pierre, who is Diddy's friend and the former president of Bad Boy Records, allegedly picked her up in a bar in Michigan and flew her all the way to New York on on Diddy's private jet, and then they took her to his studio in New York. At the studio, she claimed that Diddy and his gang allegedly fed her alcohol, even though she was below the legal drinking age, as well as drugs. And when she became inebriated, they allegedly took turns to SA her. The lawsuit said, while at the studio, Ms. Doe was SA'd by Mr. Combs, the third assailant, and Mr. Pierre in that order. Mr. Combs then watched on as third assailant, who Ms. Doe had not even realized had begun, SA'd Ms. Doe as she told him to stop. After third assailant was finished, Mr. Pierre took his turn and then forced her to give him oral action, during which Ms. Doe was choking and struggling to breathe. This lawsuit also accused Diddy of using his label as a money laundering front and having ties to the mafia. It said, at the time, Mr. Combs was 34 years old, twice the age of Ms. Doe, and one of the most well-known and influential music artists of all time. A decade earlier, Mr. Combs founded Bad Boy and installed his longtime friend, Mr. Pierre, into the role of president. At the time, Mr. Combs had many connections to Michigan, including, among others, to the Black Mafia family, BMF, a drug and money laundering organization that is rumored to have seeded Bad Boy. Accordingly, upon information and belief, Mr. Combs' associates, including Mr. Pierre and the third assailant, spent significant time in and around Detroit, Michigan. This lawsuit got people talking again, and Diddy eventually addressed the allegations, saying, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Things seemed to die down after that, but Cat Williams dropped a sneak attack during his interview with Club Shay Shay in January, where he accused Diddy of putting moves on him.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you.
I'm sure y'all heard it before, but just in case you didn't hear it, he said he had to tell P. Diddy no. He said, and I got the receipts. He said he had to tell P. Diddy no.
That's why I just said,
Next thing we knew, producer Lil Rod dropped his own lawsuit against Diddy last month, where he talked about how Diddy allegedly harassed him while he was working as a producer for Diddy on the Love album. This was also interesting because in December last year, there was this blind item floating around hinting that someone was gearing up to expose Diddy of more inappropriate behavior.
Diddy is on his 4th lawsuit for abuse, among other things, in the past recent weeks. And there have been blind items and rumors that he has abused and assaulted men as well. Here is a new blind item. I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of SA by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so. And again, this is allegedly Sean Diddy Combs.
That blind item turned out to be right because Rod went in on Diddy. And to put into perspective just how messy the lawsuit was, the court documents are 74 pages, which tells us that Rodney had a lot to say about Diddy and his alleged illegal activities. Rod claimed that Diddy would allegedly put moves on him and even grab his butt while they were in the studio working. It got to a point where Rod started to suspect that Diddy was grooming him and trying to manipulate him into a relationship, especially after Diddy started walking around the studio nude whenever Roth was in the studio. If you're wondering what this has to do with Justin, well, let me spill the tea. Y'all know how Diddy's parties have been legendary since the 90s and how a lot of wild things have been rumored to go down at the parties? Well, Rod spilled tea about what really happens at the parties, claiming that he was once drugged and SA'd at one of the parties. But Rod wasn't done because he then claimed that the parties were often swarming with girls who weren't of legal age yet. And like that wasn't creepy enough, Rod also claimed that Diddy allegedly used to spike the drinks of the young girls who attended those parties. And while he didn't spell out what happened to the girls, but y'all can add 2 and 2 together and realize how that played out. Rod then claimed that Diddy had his son, Justin, recruit girls for the parties. Rod claimed that Justin would go out and fire girls below the legal age and then bring them to Diddy's parties, which was just messed up on so.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with
so many levels. With all these shocking allegations flying around, it was only a matter of time before the feds stepped in. At first, the cops were the ones investigating the case, but it has since been turned over to the feds, which tells us that things are more serious than we thought. Plus, as it turns out, the FBI has had their eye on Diddy for a long time for being a little too interested in young boys. According to a court filing, during a debriefing session with federal investigators, James Roseman, the music manager turned cocaine kingpin, was reportedly questioned about the preferences of entertainers, including whether Sean Diddy Combs was having intimate relationships with underage boys, according to a U.S. District Court filing. A prosecutor then asked about entertainers' intimate preferences, including but not only Sean Combs having intimate relationships with underage boys. That was way back in 2013, 11 years ago, which tells us that the investigation by the feds was not something that came out of the blue, and they've been had their eyes on Diddy for a long, long time. And it looks like they finally decided to make their move, because Homeland Security didn't just raid his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, they hit both spots at the same time in a coordinated takedown. Before we go on, let's talk about Sloan Bella, the psychic who predicted in June last year that Diddy was going to get exposed more than ever in March this year, and that he was going to be taken down and humiliated. Surprise, surprise, Homeland Security landed on Diddy's doorsteps in March, just like she predicted.
So he may think he gets away with stuff. He may think it's cool he does what he does, but now he's the sacrificial lamb, and I do mean that. There's something that comes up with him in March, speaking of the lamb, during the Easter time frame, March, April, right in that time frame, that's why I said lamb. There's something else that's going to come up with him. We are not done. It is a complete takedown.
Okay, so let's talk about the raid and why Misa is flaming at Diddy and threatening to ruin him. During the raid, Diddy's two sons, Justin and Christian, got arrested and detained by Homeland Security, and the streets are saying that Justin is allegedly a part of the investigation as a result of his involvement in Lil Rod's lawsuit, so it's not all that surprising that Justin got detained.
Being linked to a trafficking investigation. He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home.
Maybe, allegedly, maybe the reason why he had that son, the light-skinned son, Justin, maybe because he knows that that's not really his son. What do y'all think? Drop a 1 if allegedly he had Justin partaking in this, criminal activity and things of that nature, because he knows that that's really not his son compared to King. King name don't pop up in none of the allegations like Justin does. Just a thought. What y'all think? Drop a 1 if that could be it.
Those people have been detained. Now we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up the street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. On the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films.
Now, you'd think that Diddy would do the right thing as a father and defend his sons, right? Well, that didn't happen because Diddy ran away. At first, we thought that he had flown to the Caribbean to escape Homeland Security because his private jet was found in Antigua. According to reports, TMZ has tracked Diddy's personal Love Air LLC jet, the well-known Black Gulfstream 5 that Diddy has flaunted and flown for years now. And it looks like the aircraft is currently on the ground in Antigua, which is down in the Caribbean. TMZ went on to say that, based on the flight activity viewed by TMZ, Diddy's jet has been up and down California between Sunday and Monday, taking off from Sacramento Executive Airport Sunday evening around 5:30 p.m. PT and landing at Palm Springs Intel Airport about an hour later. An hour after that, around 7:30 p.m. PT, Diddy's jet took off from Palm Springs yet again and landed at Van Nuys Airport, which is in the LA area. About 30 minutes later, around 8 p.m. PT, around 9 a.m. PT Monday, the jet took off from Van Nuys Airport and landed at some point in Antigua. But a video of him in Miami was released by TMZ, and it showed Diddy looking very troubled.
She's wondering what's going to happen next, Diddy. And then
The video was taken at Miami Airport, and it has people suspecting that Diddy might be planning to run away from the country, kind of like how his friend Russell Simmons did. Interestingly, Diddy was questioned by Homeland Security and let go, but his sons are still in custody, which is sus. And it also has Misa furious, and she is now claiming that Diddy is in the process of striking a deal with Homeland Security that keeps him out of jail, even if it means that his son, especially Justin, would stay in prison, as long as he walks free. Well, Misa is not having this because an insider is now claiming that she is in the process of brokering her own deal with Homeland Security. The insider claimed that Misa is allegedly prepared to hand over years of evidence to the feds, including some heinous crimes that we didn't even know about yet, as long as her son gets to go free and Diddy doesn't use him as his fall guy once again. Fans left comments saying, Misa Hilton is going to lose her mind. If Justin is charged with anything, she'll absolutely be testifying against Diddy. If Justin Combs gets charged with literally anything, his mama Misa Hilton will be the first one testifying against Diddy.
And I'm gonna leave you all with that. Misa Hilton, Justin's mom, P. Diddy's baby mother, has stated she's no longer protecting anyone no more except her son. We're going to keep our eyes on Milton. We're going to keep our eyes on Misa Hilton in these next coming days. I think within the next week, I think we're going to be seeing P. Diddy in handcuffs, and I think that we're going to be seeing the mugshot of P. Diddy arrested for allegedly sex trafficking. Remember, all of this is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All of this is allegedly. Everything that you've heard in this demonstration, everything that you've heard in this video is only allegedly. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute to my moderators for holding it down. 80s baby, positive vibes. I really appreciate y'all for holding it down. Sages and Mel and all other moderators. I appreciate y'all for holding it down. Salute. I'll see everybody tomorrow.